Hi, I'm Starling Hodge. This is the second video in this fertility journey series that I'm chronicling here. This particular video is going to be particularly short because it's just showing the few more tests I had to do before I start the big IVF treatment. I just needed to run a few more tests, apply for a loan, and this video is gonna kind of show that little bit because it doesn't take that much time from the ending of the last video to getting to this point. And you'll get to see the results of those tests, mostly thyroid related stuff and just general blood work, things like that, before I start the IVF stuff, which will be soon. So here's this little bit. All right, next round of blood tests. That's what we did today. Did that, not fun. But
what do you mean? It was a blast.
It was a blast. We also peed in cups. Cool.
Yeah, I love peeing in cups.
We also need to get some paperwork signed by a notary to have all this IVF consent stuff, essentially acknowledging that we know the risks of doing this and that it is not a guarantee for it to be successful, and what we want to do with embryos and stuff and all of that. So we need to get that notarized either today or we have a couple weeks to do it. So
we'll do it today.
Yeah,
we'll get it done.
We'll get it done. And yeah, this is next steps. It's just a lot of paperwork. We're also applying for the loan today, so hopefully that goes through because Okay, it's really early in the morning. I got really lucky because my thyroid appointment was supposed to be in December, which is probably way like in the middle of me doing all the IVF stuff, and someone canceled their appointment. So I'm taking that spot. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning to drive really far to get here, but I'm here. I'm gonna figure out what's going on right here. I still don't think anything is actually wrong because I still have 0 symptoms of hyperthyroidism. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully I'll hear some good news, and that this is not an issue and everything else can keep moving forward. Okay, so that appointment went as I expected. The doctor thinks I should take more tests, essentially retaking all of these tests again, because he wants to see if it was just inflammation, like temporary inflammation, which is something that could just happen. And he thinks if it's just temporary inflammation, by the time, since the first test I took was like in September, by now it should go back to normal if it was just regular inflammation. If it doesn't go back down, then he thinks I have subclinical hyperthyroidism because I have 0 of the other symptoms. It's exactly what I Googled. And he said treatment for that is really easy. It's a little pill with the most minor dose of radiation. He said if I was already pregnant and I was having these symptoms, that's what he would prescribe to me. It wouldn't have enough radiation to do anything, but it would be enough to like stop what's going on here. But since I'm not showing any symptoms, he agrees with my fertility doctors that I should go ahead and start IVF, extract my eggs, get all that out just to like minimize any risk to the eggs and the embryos and pregnancy. And then once the eggs are out, to go ahead, that's when I would treat the fibroidism alongside with the fibroid situation. So it's honestly kind of good news. He still wants me to go get an ultrasound, so I have to go back to the ultrasound place for my thyroid, just to kind of see. He wants to find out if it's just like a node, one like little node that's like going out of control, or if it's like the whole thing. And that ultrasound would kind of pinpoint exactly what's going on. And the blood work and all that stuff. So he's testing for different antibodies, different things like that. I'm so tired of giving blood. But I will give credit to this place. The nurse here, best nurse who took the blood out, because no pain like whatsoever. Not even a prickle. Like, I don't know how she did it, but it was just like seamless. So A+ on her. She was great. Every other nurse I've had doing this stuff, not that they're like going like about it, but definitely like this was the least painful, like to the point of like it was zero pain. So that's nice. Now all I need to do is set up an appointment for that ultrasound for my thyroid, and I'm literally waiting for my period to start so I could call the fertility clinic, because that's what they told me is my next steps. They're like, the next time you get this, call us and we're gonna have you start on birth control again so that we could keep me from ovulating. Because they want to control that, because that's how the IVF process works. That's the next thing. Hijacking my system. Okay, fertility update. I'm in the middle of painting. So period started. Yay, good. I called the fertility clinic. They want me to start the birth control they prescribed tomorrow, same time every evening with food, yada, yada, yada. And then I meet for another ultrasound in about a week and a half from now. And they're gonna email me my schedule and all of that. If everything is going well, they estimate my egg retrieval day will be around December 8th, 9th, around then, which is perfect for my plans, actually, coincidentally. So yeah, working on all of that. It's gonna be a crazy busy month, and I'm doing heavy lifting now while I can, because once I start injections and stuff, that's not gonna be comfortable. So I'm excited and nervous, you guys. I'm so nervous. Okay, y'all, I have a little bit of an update as I end this portion of this IVF fertility thyroid journey that's happening. I got my results back from the endocrinologist about my thyroids. Again, mostly just showing signs of subclinical hyperthyroidism. But I got a test result back today, and this is what the doctor wrote. Good morning, your antibodies came back borderline positive, meaning you may very likely have Graves' disease. It does not matter because the management is the same for all like hyperthyroidism. They're like, however, this is an autoimmune thyroid inflammation and we'll need to treat it. I do not believe you need a thyroid scan with radioactive treatment. I do not think this is inflammation of your thyroid. In order to normalize your levels, as we discussed, you might need to be on medication. In light of the fact that you are not toxic, and at this point, we can hold off on treatment until I have my egg retrievals. Following that, we could sit down and discuss. If at any time I have jitteriness, tremors, palpitations, I need to let him know immediately. And he wants to repeat my thyroid levels sometime in December. What that means, I looked up what Graves' disease is. It's a big symptom of hyperthyroidism. Again, I'm not showing any symptoms. Like Graves' disease, like your eyes get bulgy, you have like really puffy eyes, you get a goiter, you lose a lot of weight. It's not necessarily a pleasant thing, but it is manageable. And again, since he says I'm not showing any symptoms, I'm really not. I don't feel any different. I'm more self-conscious about my throat, but like nothing's going on. But what this means is that currently it seems like I'm on track to have my first egg retrieval in the beginning of December as well. I have my next appointment soon to discuss the medications and the shots and the next phase of treatment. So I'll start my next video with that aspect of it as I go through that. But I wanted to end this one on that button of learning about this potential thyroid issue. But luckily, luckily, I'm not showing any signs and symptoms, and it doesn't seem like it's going to affect IVF. And crossing fingers, you know, that I don't end up showing any symptoms of this Graves' disease situation. I'm definitely anxious about all of this because it doesn't seem to be like a smooth trail. But it also just feels like maybe this is just like turbulence on a flight where it's just like, this seems scarier than it actually is. So I'm gonna trust the doctors know what they're doing. I'm also gonna still do research because that's how I calm myself down. But yeah. Luckily insurance does kind of cover most of this thyroid stuff. I've had to like pay like, you know, co-pays, like $50 here, $50 there. And the other ultrasound was another like $150, but that's something I could handle. We applied for the loan for IVF and got $15K, which has already been sent to the fertility clinic. That's, I think, only covering half of what we have to do. So the rest will probably go on credit cards in the meantime as those bills come up. But we're not there yet. So figuring that out. I'm also researching grants, looking up as many grants as possible to figure out if there's other financial solutions to this thing. I don't necessarily want to make a GoFundMe for this kind of stuff just yet. Trying to, I don't know, there's so much going on. We're in the middle of moving and I have to move my mom to LA soon. So there's just a lot. Honestly, I will say my fear is that I like set up a GoFundMe and then people see that I'm moving and like updating an apartment. They're like, what are you doing? You're spending all your money on this and not on your IVF and da-da-da-da. And it turns out, hey, I have to do all of it. I have to make sure I have a place to live and a place where my mom could live and comfortable. And I have to pay for the stuff that I need to do to my body. So it's just a lot at once. But we're here. I'm sharing. I'm gonna try to make more art when I have time between all the moving stuff. But yeah. If you can't tell, I'm frustrated. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna be positive, and I will see you guys next time.